There is growing alarm over a cheap and highly addictive synthetic drug known as FLAKKA. It causes all sorts of paranoid, even deadly behavior. In South Florida, it's being compared to the crack cocaine epidemic of the 80s, and it's often sold through the mail.
Hillary Clinton is going to be your Democratic nominee. Now, Mrs. Clinton is a very conservative person.
Joe, Travis, you guys, you gotta come help me, man. Alex is freaking out.
What's going on?
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what's going on. He lost his mind or something.
But, I mean,
I've never seen him do this before. It's totally out of character. Help! Help, guys, help!
Come on.
Of all the drugs that I've seen, cocaine, amphetamines, heroin, Dilaudid, Oxycontin, this is the absolute worst. They have superhuman strength, they're psychotic, belligerent. It takes a lot of people to hold them down.
People like these, often stripping off their clothes as their temperatures soar up to 105 degrees.
Oh my God, it's my
Alex,
what
the
hell is going on here? Smite them down! Oh, Lord!
Hey, wait, what's going on here? What's going on here?
I love her! She's my God! She's my God! I love her! No, she's a goddess! Get a hold of yourself! Do it! And God's a God! Understand! No, you're wrong, you're evil! Hillary is God! I saw it on the drugs report! No. She's a goddess! She's saving Earth! Prison right here! Damn it!
I remember just running, feeling like people were chasing me.
In March, Stephanie thought she was smoking pot, but it was laced with FLAKKA, a white, granular powder.
Where did you end up? On top of a bridge?
On top of a bridge, but I still was seeing people chase me and was still completely paranoid, so I jumped.
Falling 3 stories into the water.
Is that loose? Never stop me! Racist!
Good. Good. This is what happens when people lose their minds.
Dealers can get rich quick. A kilo that costs $1,500 online has a street value of $50,000.
This is the Silicon Valley of drug smuggling.
And it doesn't take a large drug smuggling organization to bring it in.
Sometimes the organization is a college kid who hires his friends.
There's not much of a barrier here for a startup.
We're calling it the devil's drug.
She needs to be in prison now. This shirt's evil! No! No! Get away from me, racist! She's God! He's on loose!
Ray Rapaglia runs a drug rehab center in Fort Lauderdale and says FLAKKA users present a challenge.
We're not as inclined to accept them in our program because we know that they might relapse. They pose safety threats to the rest of our residents.
But he decided to take a chance on Stephanie. Now 8 months clean and living, she says, for her daughter.
I know for sure that I'm lucky to be alive right now. It's by the grace of God that I'm alive.
FLAKKA, also known as gravel, has spread to other parts of the country, including Chicago, Houston, and Kentucky, as well as New York. Under pressure from the U.S., the Chinese recently made the manufacturing and exporting of FLAKKA illegal.
And the military is training to, quote, take out mass zombie attacks that never die. They're called immortal cell lines. The first one was found here in the United States back in the 40s. And the cells are still alive today. And the military is training to, quote, take out mass zombie attacks. I'm talking Associated Press. I'm talking Business Insider. This news is 4 or 5 years old. Pentagon document lays out battle plan against zombies, 2014. Now, I was talking about it 2 years before it was even in the news, because that's, again, how they say, we're not practicing to mow down citizens. It's just zombies for fun. What they mean is masses of citizens during collapse of society, people act like zombies. But you take it even further than that, Steve Quayle, and then Gary Haven.
Well, zombies has a twofold meaning. The zombies are those who are left on the surface of the earth after all these calamities happen, and that's kind of the coverall theme for anybody that's not one of the elite. But that's on the left hand. On the right hand are the zombie viruses. And Alex, I've literally interviewed a high-ranking military guy that went into great detail about the test zone in Iraq for the actual release of some form of a zombie virus, and talked about a guy walking, multiple witnesses, with half his head gone, a hole in his chest, dragging his arm backwards and breathing out of lungs that are gross. Now, I'm sorry to be gross, but that's exactly what he...
Viruses that turn off the normal synapses of the body and let it go even further.
Right.
And isn't that associated with rabies viruses?
Right. And remember, we're in the age of rabies viruses, but we're in the age of the most... It's a cornucopia of evil brewing in a...
And they're just testing everything.
And everything. And by the way, the Human Genome Project was specifically designed and funded to find, if you will, the demon blood strains of...
I was about to say, and in the new Superman movie, again, they admit, all these big famous comic book writers, that it's propaganda placement or predictive programming to get people ready for things. You've got the doomsday character that cannot be killed.
Right.
Because